Departmented information.
They've had 2 letters from Chairman Issa, one on April 16th, the other one April 26th, that specifically say, we want you to provide a process for clearing a lawyer to receive classified information. How can they possibly get up there and just lie to the press corps?
And that's why we need to give them immunity. That's why we need a congressional investigation. The administration has lost its credibility.
Fox News has learned that the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee, chaired by Congressman Issa, will hold a fresh round of hearings on Benghazi, Brett, with the first of them slated to occur on Wednesday of next week.
Okay, James, thank you. President Obama promised to get to the bottom of the Benghazi attack, so why are the perpetrators still free? Correspondent Adam Housley has part 2 of our exclusive investigation.
And make no mistake, justice will be done.
7 months and still no arrests or targeted killings after the brutal attack on 2 U.S. locations in Benghazi, Libya, killing 4 Americans, despite promises that those responsible would be hunted down and held accountable. However, multiple sources tell Fox News that the U.S. has identified the mastermind of the Benghazi attack, who is still in Libya and walks free.
We basically don't want to upset anybody. And the problem is, if Ambassador Stevens' family knew that we were sitting on information about the people who killed their son, their brother, and we could look them as a government in the face, we're messing up. We're messing up.
Fox News spoke exclusively with this special operator who watched the events unfold in real time and has debriefed those who were part of the response. He remains anonymous for his safety and has decided to talk because he says he and others connected with the September 11th attacks of Benghazi are frustrated with the excuses, lies, and lack of a military response since Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans were killed.
We have all the capability, all the training, all the capacity to kill and capture not only terrorists involved with the specific events of 9/11 and Ambassador Stevens' death, but terrorists who are feeding other regions, including Europe, that eventually could affect our national security in the short term. And we're not talking midterm or long term. This is a short term.
The community's pretty frustrated.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a daily frustration.
Another threat, a larger terrorist haven that continues to build in parts of Libya and North Africa. Those working the region in the interest of United States security say plainly the ball's being dropped by top leaders at the White House, Pentagon, and State Department.
The second highest population of foreign fighters in the war in Iraq came from Benghazi, second to Saudi Arabia. So we're talking about a historic location and region that has fed foreign fighters to kill Americans and kill other coalition forces. The analysts, the intelligence experts that I work with all say the same thing, that if we just ignore the situation as it presents itself, eventually another invasion will have to take place for us to eventually turn the tide.
He says the region also remains a weapons hub after the overthrow of former leader Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, which saw massive stockpiles of weapons in Libya move freely across the Mediterranean, in many cases into Syria. While the U.S. has claimed a more active role to find and remove an estimated 20,000 shoulder-launched missiles called manpads, some Americans working in the area say they're not allowed to take or even destroy the missiles because they have not been given the authority from their chain of command.
I have come across SA-7s in the hands of friendly forces, meaning, either surrogate military or police forces that wanted to be handed over, and I was unable to do that because there was no program in place. No government organizations were interested. No special operations organizations were interested.
Is it a little frustrating knowing that these friendly forces, potential friendly forces, or friendly people on the ground there were willing to pass along something that could fall into the hands of an adversary, and there was no plan in place to do it?
It was frustrating not only for myself, but for the men and the guys that I work with. We always talk amongst each other and discuss that, it's probably going to take a 747 to 757 to get shot down in Tripoli for somebody to pay attention to that, which is unfortunate.
Brett, looking for a response to the charge that the possible mastermind has been identified and walking around in Libya. We reached out to the State Department, the CIA, the Pentagon, and the FBI, and we received no official response or comment. Brett?
Okay, Adam, part 3 tomorrow. Thank you. Could a wedding cake be a